In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News echoes as Africans in diaspora and back home leading English news network, one of the most respected and trusted sources for news updates on current affairs as it affects global Africa. In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News echoes as Africans in diaspora and back home leading English news network, one of the most respected and trusted sources for news updates on current affairs as it affects global Africa.
Good day, viewers around the world. You're welcome to Schengen Story Wednesday African Global Update. My name is Matt Godwin Iwejunwa, and I'm here with my coordinators, my brothers from different parts of the world. In Lagos, Nigeria is our man, Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. You're welcome to Wednesday Global Africa.
Good morning, Massive Mark. Good morning, viewers globally. Welcome to our Wednesday program.
Yes, well, it's a program, and on the other side, as we celebrate the May Day, guys, is our man, Sir George Chukwu, Toronto, Canada. Sir George, you're welcome, sir.
Good morning, my Godwin, and good morning, Olayinka Raji. Viewers from around the world, we want to welcome you to our show today. It's going to be a fantastic one.
It's going to be a fantastic one. Guys, let's start with the fact that today is May Day. May Day is the 1st of May, and it's something to really celebrate, because on the day like this, we acknowledge what people put in to work, to labor. So May Day, Labor Day, is an annual holiday that we celebrate the achievement of workers. Gentlemen, let's talk about May Day before we move on. So, George, is Canada observing the May Day? Is it a holiday there? Because we know not everybody.
No, we don't know. We don't know. We don't celebrate those type of things. Sorry, it's not a May Day here.
Not the 1st of May, but the Labor Day is is an annual is a global. It's supposed to be a global thing. It originated from the labor union.
It's
movement.
recognized.
Yes, it is. We have a Labor Day holiday in North America. Yes, we do.
So, Reggie, I know 1st of May in Nigeria is a national public holiday, like in most countries too. Italy observes it. Most part of Western Europe observes it as a holiday. How is it in Nigeria this morning, Raji?
Oh, trust my people in Nigeria. Any opportunity to have a holiday, we grab it with both hands. Yes. Whoa. So it's a holiday today. It's a holiday today. We had a series of holidays about 2 weeks ago, where for almost the whole week we were not doing anything. Anyway, so any opportunity for a holiday is grabbed by my people.
It's grabbed by the people.
It's grabbed.
So, yes, George, I really think Canada should consider having holiday anything like this. I know UK also doesn't observe it, Some countries, United States doesn't. But why not give a day for work to rest?
Labor Day is a day when people that we celebrate workers and all those type of things. So ours is different from what we consider to be a May Day. Yeah, so it's similar to that type of holiday, but we still celebrate the people that Labor Day. So ours is called Labor Day. We don't call it May Day. So maybe Nigeria is being called May Day. So
but it's not on May 1st. Your Labor Day is not May 1st.
No, it's not.
As a matter of fact, May Day seems to be like a cry for help. Mayday, we are going down. Mayday. So I don't think.
Okay, so we have a poster there of labor people, workers, as we celebrate the day. Let's take note that yes, the world has been built by labor, humanity working, men and women putting work into things, have built what we call planet Earth. The construction, the big skyscrapers, the tower buildings, all the bridges, the railroads, all of these things came out from labor. And I think setting aside a day to, celebrate that effort mankind puts to work is not too bad.
We have our own May, what you call Labor Day on September 2nd, 2024.
Second, so
okay. September 2nd, yeah. So it's coming.
Okay, it's coming. Good. So viewers, happy May Day to you all. George, let's tell the viewers happy May Day to those that are celebrating, the parts of the world that are celebrating the May Day. Have a beautiful rest today from your work, from your labor. Enjoy the holiday.
And may your labors not be in vain.
May your labor not be in vain. George.
And may your walk like an ant and eat like an elephant.
Amen. Okay, guys, thank you very much. Happy May Day, guys. Happy May Day, viewers. Let's start with some follow-up news, gentlemen. One of the follow-up news is that explosion that happens every time in Nigeria. We were talking about last time in our other program, Between the Lines. Yesterday, again, there was an explosion in a part of Lagos, at Jegule Apapa area of Lagos State. Raji, do you know about that? And that explosion caused a pregnant woman and 8 others. Now they say it's 10 to be terribly injured. They were terribly injured. Yes. Now, it brings us back to that story of how come in the midst of our oil production, gas and liquefied oil, all these explosives, we still don't give enough advice and warning on how to move these things, how to use these things, and how to really prevent explosions every time. Explosions, people dying, a trailer blowing up, and people not understanding how inflammable those things are. They go to scoop petrol, scoop kerosene, scoop, So this is what we're seeing, Raji. Raji, how did you hear the news of yesterday's explosion?
Yes, I did. But it's becoming so routine that sometimes you just take it as part of happenings in Nigeria. But what is worrying to me is the fact that when whatever they are carrying starts spreading around, people go around to scoop it. Risking their lives. Yes, scoop it. Risking their life. A small spark from anywhere will cause an inferno. But still, because of the poverty, reigning poverty in this country, currently the liter of petrol is 1,000 naira. If you saw a petrol tanker overturned somewhere,
we're going to come to that scarcity, fuel, and all that issue. Yeah. So, but we're talking about these people going to scoop petrol, going to scoop kerosene. George, last year, October, sometime in August, September, there was that spillage in a part of Lagos, and the video went viral then. I would have brought in the video now. People scooping petrol. George, I mean, how do you do that when you know you're playing with any little boom?
I think it's a function of ignorance, and then
Ooh.
also a lack of the authorities, enlightening people and informing people and making sure that when such a thing happens, that the first response will be to get away from that area and allow the either the fire trucks or the law to come in and determine what to do in such an emergency situation. So but what we see is that because of the weaponization of poverty over people, people are so desperate that they don't even think about their lives. What they want to do is whatever we can do to survive. People have
Ah,
become so animalistic in their thinking in Nigeria simply because of the
Don't insult
weaponization.
animals, please.
So
Raji, what?
You have to be very serious about it. Don't insult animals. I've never seen animals going to scoop petrol. So don't insult animals. Let's talk about you
okay,
human beings. And as we were
okay.
saying before, I rudely interrupted. Please,
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
weaponization of poverty. If I'm going by the road now and I see petrol flowing freely, and petrol at the pump is 1,000 naira per liter, and I have an opportunity to scoop about 2 gallons from that free flowing petrol, the tendency will be that I will scoop it, risking the possibility
Death.
of an impending. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, but Ola Raji, it is understandable that
Mhm.
desperate situation, actually, um, brings about desperate measures. But when your life is in danger in such a situation, when you don't know, when you're scooping that petrol, and then all of a sudden the fire comes and consumes you, then you have to, self-preservation is one thing that we need to understand, because you can't just simply because you're suffering just risk your own life. So we've seen this is so rampant right now in Nigeria. We just spoke about it on Monday, and then again this one is happening. But thank God actually, because if you look at
It,
this
it,
this last month, the director of public affairs and enlightenment, Adeboye, Tuafik, said that the tanker with registration number T22032EA fell on Golf's Volkswagen car and had the content spreading all over the highway. But thankfully, this time, there was, the prevention of fire explosion. Emergency response came, and they were able to. That's why a lot of people did not die. Fire
mm,
truck came, and they were able to contain this before it became another catastrophic event that we'll be talking about. So, let's commend them a little bit because the response was
yes.
quick. It was
Commendable.
good
Yes.
enough. Yeah. So, but what we are saying also is when this thing happen in remote areas, those people, all they think about is what can we do? Maybe we can scoop a little bit and stand on the road and sell it to people that are buying
Simple.
it. So it's a survival of situation, but we need to have a
Mm.
public service announcement which will encourage and enlighten people that such situation is a dire situation. We don't want to hear another 20, 30, 40 people dying or being barbecued because of gas explosion or whatever the case might be.
Thank you, Raji. Thank you, George. Thank you, Raji, for that insight too. How you broke it down. I mean, poverty, weaponizing the people through
Mm.
poverty, and when they see this thing, they want to do it because they are hungry and they need to survive. But we need to check on those excesses. I mean, our lives matter, and food will come one day when it will come,
They
even if.
know.
Mhm. Our lives matter. Guys, thank you. Let's go to another topic we have today. And that is something I also saw Raji really writing his idea about. We never promised $600 million investment in Nigeria with Tinubu. Maersk CEO rebuffs the claim. And now we all know Maersk. It's a big shipping company, and they've done a lot of things in Africa. They are still doing a lot of things. Now, the CEO of that company, we're trying to bring an image of that company and our president. The CEO has come out to say that he didn't say anything like the report we have. So the denial is coming in a time when it's becoming like a trend in the Nigerian government, parroting false claim about securing agreements with foreign entities. This is becoming a trend now. We've had several times the president's spokesman will tell us something, and in the other way, it's something else. So, gentlemen, let's talk about this. Robert Maersk Ugli, the chairperson of that Danish company called Maersk, it's a shipping giant company, said they didn't say anything like investing $600 in Nigeria.
600 million.
600 million. They didn't say anything like that with Tinubu. Gentlemen, let's talk about this now. So, why is this present government trying to force itself to look like they are doing much when, in the real fact, we know it's a process. You know, you don't need to loudmouth yourself. Let's go through the process of building. Raji, let me start with you. The man. Go ahead.
I mean, I'll talk about foreign investment in general.
Okay.
If I were a foreign investor coming into a country that is reputedly the poverty capital of the world, if I were coming to invest in that country, I want to know how the country itself is investing its own small funds. If I want to invest anything in a country, and I hear that that country is willing to spend 15 trillion naira, which is more than the budget of all the 36 states on a road, I won't come and invest in such a country. So what all that the president has been trying to do is to give the impression that his travels have yielded some investment. But I don't see any foreign investor coming into this environment under as we see it today, because we are not even investing our own resources profitably. Yes,
we're not investing our own resources profitably. Now, this is what was stated by Nigeria when they gave the news. They said that this company, Maersk, believes in Nigeria and will invest $600 million in its existing facilities and make the ports accommodating for bigger ships. This was what the State House, federal government of Nigeria State House said on the meeting day with the Maersk company. But the man came out yesterday and rebuffed that and said, no, they never made such statements. George, this is it.
I spoke vehemently on Monday regarding this situation, but it is very concerning, really very, very concerning that, facts and truth eludes this government to a degree that is really, really, really very, very touching. Because what we're saying here is, you come out, you make some false statements, and then those false statements, we take it gun-ho and take it on face value. We go and report it the next day, or 2 days after, there is there are discrepancies over the information that has been brought out. This is what happened when they went to UAE. They're saying that that the UAE is going to open the door. Qatar is going to open the door for Nigerians to be able to visit again. Up until today, that information it never happened. So my concern over all of this is it that these people do not care what people are thinking, you come and make a statement and go into your bedroom, and then discrepancies are found in what you're saying, and you don't care what people really think. Because when you really think about the false claims, in securing these agreements, is trying to show that the travels that you're making is worthwhile. Yet the truth behind it is that you're lying. Doesn't it concern them that they are lying? Doesn't it concern them that their integrity is in question?
Thank you, George.
My
They
question
align. They align.
yeah.
And do you know that in the real sense, the company can take the federal government to court for false statements, because it also gives their own company some bad reputation. They said this and they didn't say this. I mean, who's saying what? And also,
I said.
It's not good for our journalism, because, George, you just put it right. We come as media people and we say, oh, yesterday our country signed a contract. There's $600 billion coming now for investment, And the next day we find ourselves saying, the man said he didn't say so. So we also look like fools. We look like we lied, like they call fake news.
You see, what happened is, this pattern of false claims by Nigerian government, it raises the concerns of transparency, accountability, because how can we believe anything you're telling us? Integrity. How can we believe anything you're saying to us? So if you don't care about that, and you keep on mouthing off and lying and bringing false information, how can we take it to the people? Because today we talk about this, tomorrow we look like we're the ones that are bringing false information, but we're getting it from the right, from the right sources where we're supposed to be getting information. But now we're looking bad. So it's really very concerning, honestly speaking.
Okay. Viewers, if you're watching, that's the picture of the president of Nigeria, Bola Tinubu, in the meeting with the Maersk chairman and his one of the directors. And
looks like the normal 419 setup.
Yes, the conversation there, as the man has come to say, is not what they said. So, I mean, we can do better. How do we put ourselves in this light with people, with white people, foreigners, Europeans, and the rest, business people, as if we're just a bunch of, there's a word they used back in the days, banana republic, where things are done anyhow, people, governance, no rule of law, no authentic statement coming out, just toxic. Our man said, Hila Balu, Hila Balu. That was the statement of Tinubu. Bala Blue. The Bala Blue word actually meant he was trying to say Hila Balu. I mean, confusing, out of control kind of thing. Anyway, that's it, viewers. So we take back every statement we've made also in this network, and we now stand with what the Maersk CEO has claimed, that no, they didn't make any promise of such investment, $600 million investment in Nigeria, and the statement was taken way over what they said. Thank you, gentlemen. Let's move on. We can do better, George. George, maybe you go and teach some journalistic training to media people in the White House in Asurok. They need to keep to their word. Their word should be born. All right, viewers, let's come to one of the main topics for today. Guys, regardless of the controversy surrounding the Lagos-Calabar coastal highway, yesterday breaking news came in that the government is also planning a 1,000-kilometer Sokoto to Badagry road. Sokoto to Badagry road is being planned. And what we are all saying is this: why are the old roads not being rehabilitated and maintained, and we are going ahead to build more roads that will still end up in such terrible conditions? Gentlemen, Sokoto to Badagry highway. Raji, what do you have on that? You had that breaking news yesterday.
That road is no breaking news. That road has been in planning for more than 40 years. It's from Shagari days up till now. Something was done on it. It was just abandoned. And then come to think
Sokoto-Badagry.
of it, yes, Badagry to Sokoto. Come to think of it, when was the last time you heard any activity in that sector? What's the number of people using that road for anything? And why is it important now? Just the same thing as why is the coastal road so important now? That the country doesn't have any resources, and you are planning a 15 trillion coastal road. Why does it even have to be coastal? Because it's coastal, it means it's going to border the coast, and those are the areas where you have to put in humongous amount uh, of um, of funds so that you can stabilize the substructure. Why don't you move it onto solid ground? I don't know. The logic of government befuddles me, but at this moment,
It
because
does. It does.
we are
Yes.
facing on
The
those two
logic, the logic is
it's
really
befuddling.
well, Work Minister up for Nigeria, Umai, revealed this plan yesterday. It was a breaking news. The 1,000-kilometer Sokoto-Badagry road. He says it will foster safer, sustainable transportation ecosystem within Nigeria.
How?
George, yes, that's what the man said. George, how did you copy this?
Well,
Um,
you know something. Yesterday's dreams can indeed become our today's necessities. Like
mm,
what Olayinka Raju was saying regarding that this road has been in planning for 40 years since
mm,
what's
mm,
his
40.
name? Yeah, 40
Buhari.
years. So
mm,
Yeah,
Buhari's
since
okay.
no,
So
since
that what
Shagari, sorry.
Shagari's days.
Mm.
Now, you know what we're saying is this. We have mentioned it here several times. During this, we need to get forensic, you know, accountants to come and take a look at the government, the money that was originally put together for that particular structure. Where did it go? In whose pocket did it land? And now they're bringing it alive again. We're already talking about the destruction of businesses in Lagos for the 2 or 3 kilometers. You know, somebody who came into Nigeria with some investors and built massive, you know, structure there that
Creation.
was
Mm.
actually, you know, bringing a lot of taxes to Lagos State. But they lied again that it's all good, that everything is fine, and yet we've seen destruction of these properties. I am concerned over the impetus of some of these government officials come and just talk whatever, go, you know, lie in the face of all the people. I'm not quite sure, you know, that I'm very comfortable with reporting on some of these things again. Okay, they have not put together a complete plan of this Calabar Lagos road, the 700 kilometers that they are talking about, the $15 trillion, you know, naira they're talking about. All of a sudden, they come and announce another one, 1,000 kilometers. Okay, are they going back and then opening the, you know, dusting off some of these projects that was sponsored before? Because I'm quite sure that when that originally came out, money was assigned for this project.
mm.
There are no accountability whatsoever for where that money went to. And then another one. So these projects that they are bringing, the Indians will call it a shine face. A shine face is you go to the parliament, you go to the house, you go to the Senate, and you tell them this is, you know, or they say they clap for you. Okay, good. So let's put $15 trillion or trillion naira towards it. And that's the end.
And that's
They
the
might
end.
start, and that's the end. And
That's
sometimes
the end.
they will start the project, and the project is not even, you know, they put sand on the road and everything that they will do.
Yes.
and then it will rain and wash away the whole sand, and the equipment will be there for a few months, and the person who is doing this thing will take those equipments and go to another site and start doing another project, and they abandon this. That 15 trillion naira will just disappear into River Niger and flow to Cameroon and flow to other countries. So we have to be very accountable in our country and make sure that any project that is being talked about, even in the media, we are missing it because we don't hold these people accountable. There are things that happened last month that we complained and talked about, and then all of a sudden it disappears in the thin air. Forgotten. So these are things
George, there was something you also said in your statement, which I'm taking on. They in the process of doing this, like the one of the Calabar, they break down people's structure, and they tell them, do this we are doing this for the betterment of
Nigeria,
of Nigeria,
public interest.
Now,
overriding public interest.
Do you know, I saw an aerial view of the landmark beach, that major project that's being broken down, demolished because of the coastal road project. And I see that there could have been an enrouting. You know, I don't know why they are going through that road. You know, road, you can shunt road, you can do some, train tracks.
Can make some diversions.
It's train track that you probably need some level of precision and all that. But road can have some shunting and all that. But they've gone to destroy this man's business, George. You said that. And they are going to do more destruction in the coast, in the Calabar, Sokoto-Badagry. Yes, they're going to break down a lot of buildings, structures. And I think this is not fair, looking at it real deep, George.
Well, you see, to be very frank with you, we have to do whatever that we have to do if the benefit exceeds the cost. Okay, the civil engineers will look at the whole entire structure, and if it is not feasible to navigate and move around this whole entire thing, sometimes it's a life-saving decision that if we do it this way, maybe the land here is too soft, or maybe we are not able to take care of those, that land and build it in such a way that it is sustainable. So these are decisions that are being made. But okay, when those studies are made, let enlighten the public and let them know this is what we thought about doing. But
okay, guys, let's come to this topic on the other side. It's vital we're saying this because a lot of people are mourning and in pain now as we talk. I know what I'm saying. We have with us also, interestingly, he never comes on Wednesday, but Dr. Godwin Ibe is with us from Russia, Moscow, Russia. Dr. Godwin,
I think he finished his surgery a little earlier today.
A little earlier. Okay, guys. Dr. Godwin, let's come from a break. We'll be back. We'll be back, guys. Thank you.
Arise, oh, compatriots, Nigeria's call, obey to serve our fatherland.
This country has some of the most extraordinary culinary diversity in the world. I'm talking about Nigeria. This first dish is amala abula, made popular by the Yoruba people in southwest Nigeria. It starts with amala made from dried yam and then is covered in a variety of soups. Next we have ofe nsala, a white soup that is synonymous with the Igbo people of southeastern Nigeria. It goes best with fufu, or akbo as the Igbos call it. Next we have suya, the most well-known food of the Hausa and Fulani people of northern Nigeria. Meat is covered in a peanut-based powder called yaji and cooked over an open fire. This is banga and starch, a classic of the Urhobo people of Delta State. Lastly, we have onunu, a plantain-based swallow of the Izon people in south-south Nigeria. We are eating it with fisherman's soup, popular throughout this whole region. And of course, we don't forget the jollof rice. This is popular everywhere in Nigeria. I think what makes Nigeria so great is the diversity of all the different people coming together. These beautiful ethnic groups living side by side, sharing culture and cuisine is what makes Nigeria such an amazing country to visit. Nigerians should be so proud of that cultural heritage, as there is so much more that unites than divides them.
Yes, viewers, you're tuned back to SSM Wednesday African Global Update. George and Raji, are you guys there? We
Yes,
were
we are here.
talking. Yes, our discussion earlier is real crucial because, like I said, some people are going through pain now. That company, Landmark, by the beachfront, is had about 12,000 workers. 12,000 workers, men and women, waking up every morning to go to a place for livelihood, take care of themselves, their family. And as it is now, even if, with the calculation of the federal government, that is just a part of the landmark territory that has been taken, but you still can't have any work going on. You can't have regular business center, regular resorts like it used to be, because construction is going on. And now, yes, ongoing. And these people are now being made to stay back. 12,000 workers. That project that's almost some trillions of naira is now in jeopardy. Godwin, you came in right on time. We are talking about the demolitions of infrastructures, of things, buildings, because federal government says they are making road projects. Let's hear what you have on this. Do you have the new update of the Sokoto-Badagry coastal highway that is coming up too? And what is on? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Godwin.
Thank you once again for having me. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in. Concerning the highway, I don't have the latest, update concerning that project, but we know from time immemorial that we take a lot of time to finish projects. That's number one. And even after we commission project, management is usually a problem. Now, demolishing structures, or especially structures that are of economic significance, it's like shooting oneself in the foot when we know quite well that the project is going to take a long time to be complete. Meanwhile, all throughout that time, we are losing money, making people who otherwise would have been economically independent, fending of themselves, to depend on social support. And when we mean social support, we don't mean the one the federal government provides, because there's mostly none, but we mean depending on other family members for survival, even diasporans for remittances. I think that taking away the livelihood of people, even if a project is supposed to be implemented, with some wisdom, some empathy, some concern, some patriotism, if applied, would demand, or we would dictate that at least there should be priority given. Maybe they can come to that at the later end, or when it's extremely necessary, or repurpose it to something else that doesn't render the people or the economy at a loss. It seems to me sometimes these demolitions are to make a statement, to show that somebody is working, or to show that they can get at a political opponent. And of course, there's always a reason for that, which come up with. But when most of us who will agree with me that when we look at we weigh the reasons, we see that the political undertone is much more significant than the stated economic or national interest reason. So I think that a little bit of wisdom should be applied in these kind of situations, knowing fully well our conditions in terms of project development and management.
Thank you. Good one. The federal government said the Lagos-Calabar coastal road is to improve connectivity and ease traffic congestion in most parts of where the road will pass through. But people are saying a lot, and we also see what is happening. Godwin, you put this right. You put this right. Raji, let me hear you. You were trying to say something earlier on. Your mic is off, Raji. Okay.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I've accepted from May 29th, when Tinubu flippantly removed subsidy by fiat without any preparation, that we have a gangster government in power, and it has he has continued. He has continued to prove me right that we have a gangster government in power, and that they intend to do whatever they want to do, regardless of public opinion. And it seems as if their ego is also involved, and therefore they want to be, yes, I'm the emperor, I can do whatever I want.
Wow, that's a very bogus statement there. Now, George, Raji just wrote on one another. Meanwhile, Raji voted for APC. And now that means, Raji, you voted for a gangster government.
No. Look. Under the circumstances that I found myself, with the candidates that we had, I had to vote. And the way I put it is that we had 3 candidates: could fail, could pass, could come. It means he didn't fail, he didn't pass, he didn't leave one spot. And I had to choose one of them. And I chose could fail. I had no option.
Okay, George, let's hear you, George. Godwin is laughing.
There's something that Dr. Godwin just said that I need to echo. Mm-hmm. We just brought about, we announced, the construction of this road, and there's been a lot of criticisms from the other wing, talking about the timeline to finish this project, and stating from history, or looking back in history, how long it would take, and the management of it, whether it will be accomplished in these 8 years that they are alleging that they're going to be there. But why do you want to start and destroy these businesses now? Why couldn't you start from the other and giving these businesses the opportunity while the road is being built, to at least, the state could be collecting taxes and money, and the welfare of the people will be preserved. But you want to go immediately, even in the inception of this particular project, to go and destroy an existing business. You see, there is something that is really going on that we don't know. Because when you look at it, you gotta ask the question, like Alain Karaju will say, the name of the person who owns this is an Okoro name. And this is something that has been happening in Lagos. Why do you want to start it in Lagos and destroy this particular business that has been bringing a lot of fun, a lot of relaxation and pleasure to people that are suffering in the country, and a lot of welfare to workers? Almost how many thousands of people that are working there, and millions of nairas of taxes that are coming to the government. So something is amiss, this whole entire situation. And then another project is coming. So what we need to do in a country like this, where we have seen through history and in past experiences the type of project that has been assigned, money projected and given, and no result came, is to make sure there is accountability. Now we are looking into other things when they are, this 1,000 road project. Yet the deplorable state of the existing roads are still there. People are dying daily because of these bad roads that has been there. Why can't we just leave the 1,000 road construction, go and fix the ones that are already bad, so transportation can move easily, logistics can be easier? But what would they want to do is to shine face and look good. It doesn't make any sense to me, honestly speaking. And
Wow,
there is
George.
I miss this whole entire situation.
George, you're hitting it. And our major topic today actually is centers on tourism. And you said some words there. The landmark business center was it was attracting more tourists. And that's one thing Africa stands to gain, because we have all it takes to do that. We have what it takes to bring people to Africa. That those beautiful landmarks, those historical landmarks, and all of this. And now the ones we have, people that are destroying it. So we're going to come to the tourism thing. Yes.
Samak, please let me put. You see, I was made in Ghana. I lived in Ghana.
Mhm.
If you see how the stretch from Cape Coast to Elmina, which is a coastal place, has been developed for tourism, you'll be amazed. Meanwhile, this landmark.
Yes, we're coming to talk on tourism. Hold that with you.
Good.
Yes, that's a good one, because I want us to. We are the ones that can make these voices. Africa, sometimes somebody will have something and they won't know what they have. They won't know the value and the importance of what they have. So we're coming to the tourism talk because South Africa is holding up a tourism plan for Africa. And yes, it's called Indaba 2024. Is going to be held soon. So we'll come to talk on that. Dr. Sir George, beautiful statement from you there, I must confess. You hit it well. Why couldn't they start from the other end of the construction, the plan, and take it from there while these people are here arranging and, getting themselves ready for the construction when it to come to their end? Why are they starting from here, destroying a big project like that, scattering people's infrastructure, and they've not even started yet? And George, good one. I must confess. Thank you. Let's come to this, Dr. Godwin. Let's look into this. Shettima, our vice president, is leaving today for Nairobi, Kenya. And what is he going to do? There's a meeting, a big high-powered meeting called International Development Association meeting. It's a meeting that is being organized by the Kenyan president, William Ruto, and it's to address, help Africa address World Bank plans, how to replenish money that have been used, development plans, and all of this, IDA, like they call it. What will you say of such high-powered meeting, and when will it really start giving us results? People, citizens of Africa, begin to have the real tangible results of all these high-powered meetings. Godwin.
Yes, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Okay. About the IDA, I understand it's some kind of social fund or aid for developing countries.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's always good when leaders meet. Our honorable vice president meeting, the president of Kenya, and all of that. I think it's very good when leaders meet and talk out things, but when the agenda isn't always so clear, I don't like to overestimate or overrate it. Okay. Africa needs to move from an aid-dependent continent to an investment-driven continent. We should reject aid. We should wean ourselves of the breast milk of aid and grow to a point where we are dependent, we feed ourselves, we clothe ourselves, we service ourselves, we provide for ourselves, we cater for ourselves. And that is only when we can really have a say in not only what goes on in Africa, but also being able to defend our interests in bigger settings like the United Nations, maybe being a permanent member of Security Council, controlling commodity markets and trade routes. Now, a lot of, for example, we talked about tourism. Tourism is developed mostly in countries where they haven't been inflicted with the curse of oil or the curse of the black gold. And it's a phenomena which exists in countries that are not able to control corruption. Once you have oil, the desire to develop some other form or some other sector of the economy reduces. And we have to understand that it's not the best way forward. We always need to have a diversified economy, and we also need to be able to trade in our local currencies. I personally, I would propose doing like Burkina Faso, banning off the export of raw materials in many sectors. Ban it off. Instead, repurpose all those things we export into local production to service what we need. That act alone will be a catalyst that will create labor, employment. It will create universities that will be educating people to go into those professions. People will see the need for education. There will be a connection between industry, infrastructure, and and education, and to go a long way to a long way.
Thank you very much. You said well. I don't know if any of the gentlemen have anything to say on that, but we have
yes. Okay. Just 1 minute. Adding to what Dr. Godwin just mentioned, there's a new mining law now that just came out maybe a few days ago that insists that we are not going to be exporting raw materials, that whatever raw materials are taken from our land will be refined on our land.
Straight up. It's a new we've been saying this. We've been saying this here, George. Remember, it's always been our topic here. Why are we just exporting and taking out instead of using for our own good? I mean, if the white man had developed a means of using these things, we can figure that out too. So that's a good news, Raji. Thank you.
It is. But my concern over this is what Dr. Godwin just said, because when you talk about this International Development Association, it is being aided by World Bank, and we have seen in the past, because what is happening is they give you with one hand and they take with another, and this has been the case. It's conditions, and the conditions are usually, that's why you will have an open session with this aider and closed section. In the closed section, where the conditions will be given to these countries, if you do not allow such and such and such and such, you guys already know, I don't have to mention what it is that they are going to be pushing. If you say no to this particular issue that is happening in these developed countries right now, you will not be able to prosper in this area. But if you agree with this, we'll give you this. And when we give you this, we ensure that we are controlling this. So that is
that's what is happening. But George, I promise you, we're entering into a decade when Africa is coming to that awakening. It's not going to be as usual again. I mean, the news again has come in that we want to be using our own minerals for our own use, our own good. Okay, gentlemen, let's Raji just snapped off. Let's talk about a new thing that is happening yesterday, today, and we don't know if it will linger throughout the week. And that is that motorists are enduring long queues. High black market rates is also going on. Fuel scarcity has gripped our capital city, Abuja, and some states. This is what is happening in the midst of our crude oil production we still stay on long queues for petrol and all this stuff. Godwin, do you what are you hearing the news? Are your people telling you what is happening? The queues and the petrol scarcity and all that.
Yes, it goes back to what I say. We do not produce fuel, we produce crude oil. They are two
Crude oil.
different things.
Yes.
I mean, premium motor spirits,
Mhm.
we do not produce any quantities that can ensure or guarantee our energy security, or even transportation security. And many of this comes because we are fine with exporting. Let me tell you, even developed countries are concerned about the energy prices. I give an example. Ukraine, the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, I'm just using as an example just to paint a picture. One of the reasons the Biden administration said Ukraine should cease attacks on Russian territory is because they believe it will affect the price of crude oil in the market and international prices, right? Even the most advanced countries are concerned about the price of oil. When they know that you are serious about refining domestically, they will help you
They'll help
because
you.
they are concerned about maintaining the appropriate volume of raw materials in the world to control energy price, and they know that it has a political significance in terms of voters, especially in a developed country, because they care about the economy. So we ought to be able to change our policies to be able to protect our interests and guarantee us energy security.
Thank you very much. Good one. Sir George,
You
do you
know,
have anything to say that? Yes, the
yes,
long
I have
queues.
I have volume to say because there is so much disjointed control in our country. NNPC is saying one thing to the Nigerians, and they are experiencing another on the pumps.
Another.
They're saying that we have more than how many billions of liters of gasoline that will last us 3 months, all available, but they're not seeing it at the pumps. So these are the things that we are talking about. Okay, when NNPC was controlled by the government, it was a different thing. It's been privatized, but there is somebody who is sabotaging things in that country to make sure that money is being made from the pumps. Because you go to some of these government controlled gas stations, or you will see a bunch of hawkers outside selling gas,
Okay.
but yet
Can you
the
imagine?
pumps are closed. So where are they getting their gas from? And why are they selling it at such a price? Sometimes they sell it 1,200 naira to 1,300 naira, you know, per liter,
Okay.
because prices are being increased. So what we're saying is this: here we produce crude oil, we drew crude oil, but already there are so many concerns coming from Warri Refinery, Port Harcourt Refinery, Dangote Refinery. All those promises being made at the inception of this government, none of them has been fruitful. We are not seeing any of those, and is people are suffering. People are suffering. Look, can you imagine this? People coming out, and let me tell you something else that you don't even understand. Do you know that some of these people that have these yellow and white cans, they will buy this gasoline, they will go out and they will hawk it, they will sell it on the roads. Most of them, you see the motorists there. So these are the things that we are talking about. There got to be some kind of structure and internal control and truth telling, because the government, some of these leaders are coming out and talking nonsense. And when they say this nonsense, it doesn't reflect the facts that people are experiencing on the roads and on the gas stations. So I don't know what is really going to happen, but somebody needs to. You see, what really concerns me a lot about all this, you see the impetus of this government announcing these new projects and everything. Yet internally, there are so many disjointed, messed up things that are happening, and the government is not coming to, use that executive power to say, "Thus far, no further. Stop doing this. It's affecting the lives of the people." They ignore it and go outside the country and start lying about projects that are not even in existence. And tomorrow we find out that
Okay.
all this travel and everything that looks good in the surface and brings no substance in the end is just a waste of our resources and money. So let's deal with internal control of things that are happening. People daily lives are being suppressed, and people are dying daily, dropping dead, heart attacks, and people just dying because of frustration, and yet we don't pay attention to it. If anybody dies over there today because of frustration or drop dead, no, there is no statistical analysis to tell us how many people that are dying. Villagers will go and bury, family will go and bury, but nobody counts the number of people that are dying daily because of hunger, because of frustration, because of everything else that is happening.
Yes, thank you, George. Passionate talk. We feel you. We feel you. We want to go on to our major topic. Thank you, Raji. Yes, it's our center today, what we call Viewpoint. Wednesday Viewpoint is on what the tourism plan and how Africa can really tap into this big business, big money venture, and do it well, attract people, attract the world to Africa. So right about now, very soon, I think it's on the 13th of this month, South Africa will be opening up that summit to promote tourism, and it's called Indaba 2024. Indaba 2024 is to promote tourism and to bring to create an awareness of tourism, all the enterprises around it, and how it could be packaged well, become an industry. So let's hear Raji. Raji, you were talking about Ghana and how they did that. Yes, let's hear more from you. Then we'll all give our various views. Right.
You see, talking about landmark center being directly on the coast, and it being now destroyed for a coastal road. When you move from Cape Coast to Elmina, the whole stretch of the coast is devoted to tourism. Any other route that is going to go from Cape Coast to Accra, or even from Accra to Elmina, doesn't pass through the coastal road, because they have dedicated those coastal roads for tourism, and that tourism is so organized that Ghana seems to be getting more than 20% of their GDP for tourism alone. Nigeria has so many tourism attraction areas all through the country, but not developed to be commercially viable. And the few ones that are commercially viable, like the landmark entertainment center, like the what do you call it, the Tropicana place, are all on the coast and may be even affected by the coastal road. So we need to, there have been efforts to develop our tourism, but it is not taken as a serious industry.
Okay, thank you very much. Indaba 2024 will be a big event. What they are studying is this. They say 1 billion people travel internationally every year. And by 2030, consumers, people will be spending so much on recreation, traveling, and all that. So Africa is projected to reach about, if it is planned well, it's projected to be getting 261 billion from tourism alone. $261 billion from tourism alone. So it's something that should be strategic, like you're saying, Raji. Strategic planning, scaling up tourism, putting it in well-aligned structure, and understanding also that Africa has what it takes to attract tourism. You know, people want to see Medivian structures, old structures, things that probably never existed. You know, these young people want to see some things that could, you know, they've been hearing in their fairy tales and in their books. Godwin, how do you think we can work out tourism for Africa? How can we start to really scale it up?
I think I mentioned what we need to do, and one of the reasons why we don't have the result we're supposed to get. First of all, is because of our dependence on oil. Yes, it's a fact. It's a fact. It's I want to say first of all that maybe I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Nigeria has equal or even more contribution of tourism to GDP than Ghana. But it's just that we are supposed to be doing much more because we have more sites, more prominence and more population. Like as I remember, Ghana contribution of tourism to GDP in Ghana was 4 point something percent, close to 5%. As of 2022, I think it generated like 3 point something billion. And Nigeria generated a bit more, but as a percentage of GDP, it was still around that 5%. But we are operating based on inertia, and we ought to do much more than we are doing. And what are the things that people want to see in tourism? We have the active tourists and we have the passive tourists. Okay. The passive tourists are people who want to come and rest, get massage, rest from all the stress of life and everything. That means you need to have constant electricity, infrastructure that takes care of what they need in terms of the climate that relates well with the climate and makes life comfortable for people. They are coming to the country knowing fully well the climate, but they expect that the country will have infrastructure in place to enable them to adjust to the peculiarities of that country's climate. And then we have the active tourists that want to see history, want to learn information, want to see things that are rare, want to develop experiences to retell. And those, irrespective of whether they are passive or active tourists, both of them, they have a powerful instrument called word of mouth, referral. When they go back and they say they had a nice time, more people are going to come. So it has to do with a number of steps we have to do: develop the infrastructure, promote it, and give them a good experience. These are the ways that we're going to invite more people into our tourism sector, and of course, diversify, not focus only on oil.
Wow. Straight up, nice one. Thank you very much, Doctor. Yes, Sir George, you have anything to say? That was a good one.
Every year, last year, if you remember, I was in Poland.
Okay. Yes, that's correct. You were supposed to.
Why did I go to Poland?
Mm-hmm.
I would have come to Russia if there was no war, but I went to Poland. But I went to Poland and I was able to experience a whole lot. Before then I went to Argentina. But what I'm saying is this: our country, the only problem we have is tourism is giving us crumbs under the table compared to what we could have been making if it's well structured. We have more in Nigeria that will attract the whole entire world to want to come and see. When it comes to word of mouth, if the language spoken about Nigeria is positive, many are desiring to come to see for themselves. Here when we're doing our in the middle of our show, you see the interconnectivity of our culture and the strength of our diversity in that country that will make anybody want to come and see and taste. But the problem we have is what Dr. Godwin just said. We are myopic, our myopic view when it comes to economy, because we center on oil alone. We're not even maximizing what we can be doing with this crude oil, the side products that can come out of it. That if we concentrate on that alone and concentrate on tourism like Kenya and Tanzania, where they see all these animals, many people from North America and Europe, they want to go there. We can develop and structure our own in such a strategic way that security is guaranteed. And all these things that Dr. Godwin is talking about will be provided for foreigners that are coming in. When they know they will come, they will have fun, they will go and see sightseeing, well structured and well managed in such a way. I am telling you, the world will come after Nigeria. And as a matter of fact, we will see that oil money that we're making is only a minutest part of our economy. And
thank you, George. Thank you, gentlemen. Gentlemen, it's time to go. But we can't go without saying congratulations to the appointment of George Finidi. George Finidi is now the head coach for the Nigerian national team, senior team. George Finidi, we've known him back in the 90s, all through. He played for Nigeria as a professional footballer, and we hope he will do this bid, this in a good. He will bring success to the team. So that's George Finidi, gentlemen. George Finidi now is our coach for the Super Eagles. So congratulations to George. So on that note, guys,
Congratulations.
thank you very much for what you just said. Thank you very much, Godwin, for what
And
you
may
said.
and may his salaries not be owed.
And may his salary not be owed. Guys, thank you all. We really do appreciate what you bring into this show. We're not just gathering here because we want to gather. We gather here because we have something to give out, and that this is intelligent content building. Thank you, Raji from Lagos. Thank you, Godwin. Thank you once again, Sir George. Until we come again on Friday for our international news update. Have a beautiful weekday. Bye-bye. Happy May Day too to all of you.
Happy Workers' Day. Happy Workers' Day.